the benefits are very minimal, and at some point these laws do not provide for benefits. Like the Wildlife Management Act in Kenya does not provide a formula for people to benefit equitably from wildlife resources. Like we in Taita Taveta hosts Tsavo National Park, which occupies 60% of our land. But our people get nothing directly, despite the fact that they face severe human-wildlife conflict that includes snake bites, like killings and destruction by elephants. A place like Maktau in Kenya, our women use donkeys to fetch water and other means of transport. But of late, lions from Tsavo East National Park have been mauling and killing these donkeys, which are the main means of transport and the main means of survival in terms of fetching water and carrying out other transportation activities. So the role of the senators here would be, in your countries, do you have policies or laws that provides for equitable benefit sharing from natural resources between the government and the local communities? If no, then this is the right time to champion for both local, national, and a global convention, UN Convention on natural resources benefit sharing. Why do we need this? Because it is us, the local communities, who protects the forests, who protects these minerals, who protects wildlife, who protects our waters, and so on and so forth. Who benefits? It is multinationals and government and cartels. Do the local community benefit? I think that is a no, because in my community, even dead firewood, our mothers and fathers and children cannot be allowed to fetch dead firewood from the forests or in the Tsavo National Park. So, of course, we are promoting clean energy, but we are alive to the fact that a lot of African families are still using firewood for cooking as a main source of energy in our homes. And of course, most of the African families use dead firewood. So at the end of the day, they do not damage the environment. That is not to say that we are not supposed to promote clean cooking, but then our people, the point is our people benefit nothing. You know, the REDS project, the carbon and biodiversity projects which are ongoing, and in Africa, I think there are very few of them. In Africa, I think Kenya has the largest number of carbon and biodiversity credit projects, which provides for 40% community benefit sharing in terms of revenue and other benefits. But then there is no legislative framework in place to address those. I know in Kenya there's the Climate Change Act, as well as the climate change regulations, which came into effect last year, I think May. But we need a universal, both at the local level, national level, and global level. We need a universal policy, law, and international convention that provides for benefit sharing in an equitable manner, so that these benefits can be used to eradicate poverty and to empower our people economically. So that is the challenge to you senators. And you know, the title senator is a political title. So you have a political responsibility. You can petition your national and local political leaders. You can do petition to African Union. You can do petition to IGAD, ECOWAS, and even the United Nations to ensure that we have this international convention, which is going to address the questions of peace and security and stability in Africa, because many African countries have been experiencing insecurity and political instability because of the conflicts bred by inequitably inequitable sharing or exploitation of natural resources like gold and other resources. So it is our obligation and duty as senators to vie for political positions, to occupy political platforms, to make noise as much as we can to ensure that we have a global convention that addresses the issues of natural resources benefit sharing, and a platform that would make sure young people are involved, young people are on the table, young people are benefiting from these resources, and young people's voice matter in the climate and economic justice fight. So, with those many remarks, I want to thank you so much for inviting me to this summit, and congratulations, senators. And now I know you're going to graduate today, but the work begins today. It's not the end of this work, it is the beginning. You will find a lot of obstacles, but do not give up. This space has a lot of challenges. It requires uh, courage, it requires resilience, and it requires passion. So I want to encourage you that let us join hands, build as much networks as possible. This war cannot The war for climate justice and economic justice cannot be won by an individual. Neither can it be won by a community or a country. It needs a united and concerted effort. So I want you to build networks and movements that are going to win the war against climate injustice as well as economic injustices. With these many remarks, I want to say thank you and uh, ask the moderator to take the baton. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Christopher, for the amazing insights. So my name is Evans Kiriga. I will be the moderator and also be assisted by my fellow moderators. We have Jimmy, we have Letitia. So in this time, we are welcoming you guys to this convention today. It's an amazing experience getting to see young people who are committed in making sure that the environment is clean and also achieving economic justice. So in this time, I would like to welcome Mr. Oliver Rieche to give insights. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Yeah, thank you for having me. Hi, everybody. And first of all, congratulations. Today is not just a graduation, it's a beginning. And quite frankly, it's not the easy kind because you're not graduating into a stable world, as you know. You're graduating into a world that is shifting, that's warming, and in many places it's struggling to keep up with itself. And, well, yet here you are. You're choosing to step into that reality, not turn away from it. That is what truly matters. And I'd like to start with a simple truth that, yeah, it took me quite a long time to understand. Climate change isn't actually just an environmental issue, it's a human issue. It's about who has access to water, to food, to the ability to stay where they grew up, and frankly, who doesn't. And I guess nowhere is that reality felt more clearly than across Africa, because the continent is not just vulnerable to climate change, but it's also really central to the solution. Um, from forests and biodiversity to renewable energy potential to young populations really ready to step up and lead, like yourselves. Africa is really not on the sidelines of the climate conversation, it's right at the core of it. But here's the uncomfortable part. For a very long time, the global system has not treated it that way. Decisions have been made far away, funding has been controlled elsewhere, and solutions have often been designed without fully listening to the people that they affect the most. And that is exactly why your role as climate leaders matters. Because change doesn't actually come from, say, better reports. It comes from people who are willing to challenge how things are done, who say enough is enough with a status quo until here and no further. And in my work across climate policy and partnerships, I've definitely started seeing a pattern. You go from good intentions, very complex systems, to outcomes that don't really reach the people that they are meant to truly serve. You probably ask yourselves, well, why is that? That doesn't make any sense. It's true, it doesn't make sense, but it's because systems without accountability, they just started to drift, and solutions without local ownership, quite frankly, fail. And this is exactly where you come in as climate leaders. You know, you don't come in as observers, you come in as leaders. Let me make that a little bit more concrete. People often come to me and say, well, okay, but how do we actually get into global decision-making space to begin with? And I think that's the wrong way to frame it. In reality, it starts there. It starts locally, right where you are now. It takes one project, just one idea. Actually, it just takes often just one conversation to get going. In my case, it ended up me working on very specific problems like how to finance reforestation projects or how governments can structure climate partnerships. But obviously, I didn't start there. It was the small practical pieces of work that eventually started opening doors to bigger conversations at the international level, at COP, etc. And the same could be said of funding, climate finance. It doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It moves when ideas are clear, when partnerships are built, and when someone takes responsibility for turning a concept into something implementable, tangible, concrete. This is really the crux of it all. So it's less of asking, how do I get into global decision making, and more of what problem am I willing to solve and how do I go about solving it? And you should all be very clear about that question at the very core of it. Doesn't mean it can't evolve, of course, over time. And this is, I think, important because then you start moving from just being passionate about fighting climate change to real systemic change, because I'm sure this is all what we want to achieve. And at the same time, even the word leadership, we throw it around all the time. And it's important, but real leadership, I think, isn't really about the title. Today you're graduating and maybe you're going to put it on your CV, but the important part here is not about being the loudest person in the room. Real leadership, in my opinion, boils down to three actionable things. First of all, clarity. You really need to know what you stand for. And that's not just what you want to achieve, but also what your value system is, who you want to surround yourself with, where you want to get in the future. And secondly, it's courage. You need to go out and do it. You need to act on it, even when it's uncomfortable. And this is really the part that can sometimes sting a bit, because there will be people that are making a lot of money from the status quo. You will face a lot of confrontation. And this is, I think, where number 3 and the most important part comes in: consistency. Show up. Show up again, again and again, even when you feel, my goodness, progress feels slow at best. Because let me tell you, progress in climate is by nature incredibly slow. And a few years ago, when I started working with governments on reforestation and businesses and climate partnerships, I went into my first meeting thinking, well, we've got such a great methodology, such a great strategy. They cannot help but sign it up immediately, move very quickly. And we're going to build something radically different that the world hasn't seen before. It's going to be so impactful. Well, unfortunately, what followed were, months of negotiations, back and forth, meetings that led to more meetings, then silence, ghosting, and more discussions. At some point, it really felt like nothing was happening, or we were actually backstabbing. And I will be honest, there were moments when I started to even question myself, is it worth it? Should I have just stuck to my corporate law job where I was before? It was a much easier route. But then over time, I started to understand something. When you're working on systems that affect millions, potentially billions of people across the globe, then, well, obviously things are supposed to move slowly, because those systems, for them to change, they require trust, they require alignment, they require ownership. You don't actually want to antagonize people, but you want to bring them on your side. And that is a very slow progress. And once I started to really believe in that, my perspective changed completely. Because leadership in climate really isn't about the quick wins. You often won't see them on paper. In fact, the media is very critical, rightly so. But it's about staying in the room long enough to make change happen. Because as I said, you're going to face frustration, systems that resist that change, oil companies that want to benefit from the status quo, for example. You're going to hear people say, maybe even your parents, oh, that's how it's always been done, dear. Just let it be. And in those moments, you really have a choice to make. You can either follow the crowd, adapt to the system as it stands, or you can say no, you can shape it. And there are no real perfect paths into climate leadership. If you're thinking, okay, well, where do I start? Well, some of you are going to go into government, some into business, activism, law, science, community work, you name it. There isn't any ideal path to climate leadership. All of those are equally valid. What matters far more is not where you sit, but how you act once you get a seat at the table, And there's something that I really wish someone had told me much earlier in my career. And maybe it's going to be quite obvious to some of you, but I'm going to say it anyway. You do not need permission to lead. You don't actually need to wait until you feel ready, because that is a very treacherous feeling. If you're going to constantly put off doing something because either it's uncomfortable or because you feel like, I'm not quite ready yet, I need to hone my public speaking skills, I still need to do a bit of more funding. Well, if you wait for that moment, it might actually never come. You need to push yourself outside your comfort zone, and that goes for a lot of things in life. Leadership begins the moment you just decide, I'm going to take responsibility for something beyond myself. Even if it's not going to be perfect, you will learn as you go along. But that's really when another responsibility comes in, and that's leading differently. Because you don't want to be part of the next generation of climate leaders that can't really repeat the same mistakes of the previous one. You want to be more inclusive, you want to be more transparent, you want to be more accountable and more connected to the communities that you're meant to serve. So today is a big deal in, as you're leaving this incredible program, I want to impart three important thoughts on you. First, stay rooted in your communities, in your values, in the realities of the people around you. And secondly, stay curious. The climate space is so complex and it's constantly evolving. I mean, really, no one, even the best leaders in the world that you may be looking up to, know everything. And if they do, you should really question that person because we should all be learning constantly. So stay alert. And thirdly, stay brave because the work that you're stepping into will not always be fast and it will definitely not be easy. But if you stay in the room, if you keep showing up day after day, if you keep getting up, even when you feel like, oh gosh, this is impossible, everybody seems to be fighting me, you will be part of shaping something that truly matters, even if nobody finds out about it, and even if you might not even know what role you've played. But the truth is, the world doesn't really change because a few people have all the answers. It changes because there's a critical mass. Enough people decide that the current answers that we have at the moment are not good enough. And you should all be a part of that group of people. So let me finish by saying, today I'm looking at you and I see exactly that. A generation that is not willing to accept the status quo, a generation that's not ready to sit still, but to question, to build, and to lead. So, congratulations again, not just on what you've achieved, but on what you're about to take on after today. It's not going to be easy or pretty, but I can assure you it's going to be meaningful and it's going to be yours. Thank you so much.
Hello, honorable host.
Hello, thank
Um,
you. Just give me a minute here. Can I continue?
um, yeah, you can finish speaking, then I can speak.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Olive, for those insights. I know everyone here is inspired, and also you guys know you've been able to be told by the expert that it is not easy. It requires you to be very innovative. Consistency, as we always say, consistency beats perfection. So you guys, this is a journey I've started, and this journey is not very easy. It requires you to be very innovative, very collaborative, and also to be able to share your real experience and being able to share best practices with others. So I want to say thank you for that experience and also being able to share the insights. It is really amazing to see people sharing various experiences all the way from the global north and global south. And also hope you have been able to hear from our first speaker about the challenges people are facing in the global south. And also maybe you can be able to share maybe some of the perception you have, because I understand you're going to attend the SB 64 that will be happening at Bonn in later June. Maybe you can be able to share maybe some of the expectations so that the senators can know what happens in the global platform for the young people and how can they position themselves for these spaces. Yeah, thank you very much. Maybe I can give you a chance, then we can give Greta a chance to really share. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Of course, I can. I unfortunately have to drop in a few minutes, but I can still add a few cents to it. Yes, I'll be attending Bonn, which is sort of the pre-COP summit that happens once a year in June, when government officials come together to set the agenda for the main COP summit, COP 31, that's going to be happening in Antalya in Turkey in November this year. I've been attending over the last 3 years. I should say, though, not as a diplomat. I'm not representing any governmental views. I'm the Director of Legal Affairs and NDC Partnerships at Balance Eco, which is a reforestation and afforestation platform that seeks to move away from carbon offsetting and towards biodiversity creation, social, economic well-being, and climate mitigation. So what our agenda has been at those COP and Bonn meetings is to actually speak to governments and get them to adopt our methodology so that they can identify lands in country that they can rewild using our methodology as an instruction manual, if you will. So we say that carbon offsetting, for example, doesn't really work. There are a lot of greenwashing concerns, in fact, associated with it. And what we want is that governments then identify lands that can be rewilded, but also making sure that they remunerate locals appropriately, that they use native forest species that are actually meant to be planted there, that they use biodiversity reports, keeping people updated on the flora and fauna that they are establishing. So we have very set criteria. So we have our own agenda, if you will. So long story short, you can also use Bonn, COP, all of these climate talks as platforms to push your own agenda. You don't need to wait for world leaders to say, okay, now we are going to create a loss and indemnity fund for developing countries so that, you know, the countries that are hit hardest by climate change are going to be adequately remunerated. You can go out there and work for an NGO or a business or a foundation in our case that pushes their own agenda if that's what you believe in. There is just before I close, there is also, if you're not aware of it, a young person's interest group called Youngo. So it's literally like Youngo. They represent young people's views, those aged 35 and below. If you want, look them up. And they sometimes have ways of actually attending COP and Bonn summits and other climate summits for those not yet working in that global climate sphere. So do look them up. You don't need to wait to be, sent to the COP summit by your respective governments. So I encourage you to seek that global change that you're working towards and not really wait for it to happen from anyone else.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope that one helps our senators and also being able to see how they can be able to influence. Actually, we'll share how you guys can be able to join Yongo and also other platforms. If also you have some of the platforms these senators can be able to join, feel free to share with me so that I can be able to share with senators. Yeah, so thank you very much, Mr. Oliver, for your time and also for the insights. It's really amazing to see you dedicating your time so that you can be able to share your insight and your experience. I'll give a chance to my co-moderator, Madam Letitia, to continue from there. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah. All right. Letitia.
Hi everyone. Please confirm if you're hearing me. Hi everyone.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you for the replies. A good evening to all of you. Yeah, in Uganda, from Uganda, it's a good evening. I don't know about other countries, but good evening. Anyways, greetings to everyone. I'm really glad, guys. I'm so happy that you managed to show up. You managed to come and participate in this. You managed to come and get ideas from this. Thank you to our wonderful speakers that have spoken before. I do respect you and I do take the protocol. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Respect to you, my co-moderator, Mr. Evans. Greetings to you. Good evening. Good evening again to everyone listening to me. My name is Nakaliwa Letitia. I'm coming from Uganda. I am a climate advocate in GSI. By God's grace, I managed to serve as the Deputy Executive Director. So I am really pleased and so happy So happy to everyone who has managed to reach this state. So congratulations. I know. Things may, at the beginning you see things will work out, then you reach in the middle, you see things boring, then you reach in the real middle, then you say, I won't manage, then you reach at the end, you're like, let me just drop out. But you guys, you managed to come to the end. Thank you so much. When we called you, you respected our invitations. When we called upon other speakers, they really honored our invitations. I am much pleased. I am much humbled for all of you. Thank you so much. Congratulations once again for everyone who has made it to this. I know sometimes those who have not made them, some of them have met problems with us. Sometimes we have not been so good to you. We are very sorry for that. We are humans, we are not 100% right. But thank you so much for bearing with us. The networks have sometimes delayed or defeated us, but you've been patient for everything that has gone wrong, and then you've just decided to say, if you've just managed to say that if you're passionate about climate, you will really make it. Thank you so much. Why do I speak a lot? Because I'm a climate advocate. I love climate so much. Some of you who have been, like, you've been seeing me, you've been hearing me speak. I am a climate advocate. I love climate a lot. And even the course I'm doing right now, it's called Environmental Science, Technology and Management. Still, it's environment. I love environment so much. That's why I've decided to join such. Thank you, guys. So right about now, we are in vibes. This time round, we don't want to stress ourselves. I know, guys, we've learned a lot. We've managed to reach, to hear from different speakers. We've organized discussions from different speakers, from having different panelists, different panels from different levels. And I know at any level you are, you've been able to learn about something. You've been able to learn new things. I am just like, I'm a young person, by the way. I am young, but every time I hear from people who are older than me, I learn very new things. I know that's what also older people do. They learn new things also from us. Yes. So I know everyone has learned about something. Right about now, I want to call anyone, okay, to give us testimonials. Like, tell us what you've learned. Tell us your experience in this. This has been a long thing, by the way. It has been long. 8 weeks. 8 weeks. It has been long. So please, let's anyone, I'm welcoming any person who has testimonies, like, come and tell us. Anyways, you can even tell us the challenges. It's okay. It's okay. But since it's graduation, I welcome testimonies more. Yes. So anyone having testimonies, please tell us. Please, by the way, before even that, get connections. Please connect with your friends. Connections are here. So please connect. I'm welcoming the first person to raise up their hand. Please, if you're there, just raise up their hand. I say out your name. You give us your testimony. I saw a hand up, but then I don't know what happened. It's Ibrahim, right? Kindly unmute, dearly. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah.
Hello.
My name is. Can you hear me?
Yes, dearly. Yes. Go on,
Can
please.
can everyone? My name is
Before,
Ibrahim Jibril.
before you have echoes in your background, kindly work on that. Maybe reduce on the volume of your phone.
Uh, can you? Am I okay now? Is
Yeah,
okay?
you're okay. You're okay, dear.
Okay. My name is Ibrahim Jibril. Some of people know me with Jibril in this program. Uh, this is one of the most wonderful and great and beautiful and resilient journey that we have. Togetherness, organizedly. GSI, right here, I want to say congratulations to all of us. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations once again. Then I'm really happy to see me in this big and educative and informative program. I'm so happy to see the end of this uh, big and productive program about the climate action change policy, you know, and restoration, you understand, biodiversity, fauna, flora, and all of them. We learn so many things, so many things. Yes, this is school. We learn so many things. I'm happy because we learn policy making both internationally and locally. We know how to restore. We know climate action, all how to mitigate, solution, and so many things for 8 weeks. We have been together. We tied our belts very well to see how we can carry this first journey to all of us in African continent and to the world. So I want to advise all of us in this great journey that we are about. We are come to the graduation ceremony. Please let us make it resilient. Let us make it continuum. Let us move forward. Let us see the action in the climate. Let us make our environment sustainable so that at least this our earth will be a better place. We are young climate activists that we can make a significant change in our communities, in our countries, in our continent, and to the world. So please let us make collaborative effort. Let us connect with each another. Let us do something that needs with the journey we are in to the journey now. Let us make this earth a better place. Let us make our environment a clean one. Let us make people proud from our community, society, government, NGO, CSO, and CBOs. Let us make things to be fine so that at least our environment will sanitize to be clean at the end of the day. I'm so very happy to see me among the people that reach this level in this great journey. Thank you so much. I cannot mention all of us name, but somebody like Mr. Kelvin, the national and all state coordinator, he did a very significant job about the journey. He organized, he make the things move successful and together. So thank you so much to see me in the end of this journey. Thank you so much, the coordinator, the moderator, and all of us. Let us see the change. We need to see the world. Thank you so much. My name is Dubin. Sorry, I didn't mention my listen. I'm no environmental rights activist. I'm a climate expert. I'm a plant scientist, forest and environmental side. I know I love fauna and the flora. I love environmental sustainability. I love climate pollution and mitigation and microplastics. Thank you. And electronic waste. Thank you so much. I thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jibrin. I am really happy that you are the first speaker. I am really happy. By the way, let me tell you one thing that Mr. Jibrin has been with us from the beginning to the end. From the beginning, he has never missed. Every time a speaker speaks up, he makes sure he tells us some things. We learn from him. for real, you people, you've actually given us lessons also. When we meet mentors, it's not that they know everything. No, they also lack some knowledge. But then when you just add ideas, sit down and bring out ideas on table, that's when you come to a success. Me, I believe in unity, working together. Mr. Jibrin, I would like to thank you so much for the work that you've been doing since the Senate began to the end. You've really been a good person to us. Thank you so much. And let's not stop this here. No, our GSI Climate Senate group is open. Please interact. Work with each other. Work with us. Come with us. Tell us this. I want to join the board. We are open. We are so open to work with you. So, right about now, I'm welcoming any other person. But before that, Mr. Jibrin has said about something, by the way. He has said let's not stop at this. Like, let's put things into action. I've liked that. Let's put things into action. Let whatever that we are talking not stop at our mouths. No, let's put everything in action. If you're talking about environmental conservation, what are you doing about the environmental conservation? You're just speaking about it. Oh, people, let's please conserve the environment. Whoa, no, let's do what? Let's put everything into action. Even the online things that we are posting every day, you post about climate, people will see you posting. Is whatever you're posting being done in actions, or you're just posting and you're letting everyone see you that you love climate and environment so much? Let's turn the ideas into reality. So let's come up. Let's pause a bit and think about it. Let's turn the ideas that we are having. I know everyone has ideas, but then what is limiting us from turning the ideas into reality? Please, let's work on that. Let's change our ideas into actions. Practice them, then we shall come to a success. By the end of whatever that we want, okay, our success and our goals will be reached out. Thank you so much, Mr. Jibrin. I'm not a speaker of that day. I'm just a moderator. So, any other person that is around giving any chance? Oh, before that, someone wanted to connect with me. People, I've put my WhatsApp number uh in the messages. So for those who want to connect with me, I'm very open. It's 07 846301004 Uganda. I'm from Uganda. So
Hello, I'm Francis.
hello, dear.
Hello, dear.
Yes, I
I'm
can hear you. Please, the floor is yours.
okay. Thank you very much. I would like to take this opportunity from your side in order to attend this meeting. I'm very much passionate. I am a university student studying under degree in information communication technology. So first of all, I'd like to appreciate even our members from the UK, from Congo, from even Uganda. Kindly feel welcome because you're much more passionate about the climate. For us, it's just to bring solutions that are going to face these challenges that are in our regions. At the beginning of the meeting, I had someone talking about Taita Taveta. So Taita Taveta, this is my home, and I'm so very passionate about our home and the climate. See, Taita Taveta is a place where it is arid and semi-arid. We have even hot climates. But in this region, I myself, personally, I have engaged in uh, in climate solutions in order to partake. I've even partnered with the Ministry of Government and Agriculture. Back then in 2020, we had a project that really impacted the microclimate conditions. See, during the semi-arid months, actually having solutions like a greenhouse that really impacted the microclimate. You see, a greenhouse has an impact. You see, it can even lower the carbon footprint of the carbon production that we do have in that region, and even increase food production for the local women and men who are there and willing to participate in these projects. At the end of it all, I came to realize that changing the climate every day, it is going warmer and warmer and warmer and warmer. So the impact is one single unit of a greenhouse can really, no, it can't really, but it has an impact in the microclimate. So having several units in this region like Taita Taveta, I've heard of somebody speaking of lions who are attacking the donkeys. So these lions and who are attacking the donkeys into the women, they seem not to have food, sustainable food in the forest, in the Tsavo National Park. So this is a solution that we have several greenhouses in our communities that are able to sustain the community at large and even the county itself at Taita Taveta, in order to provide even sustainability for the wildlife themselves. Rather than a lion attacking donkeys, the lion should actually sustain itself inside the Tsavo National Park. This means that we'll have greener national parks and even not attacking the donkeys, but rather feeding from the zebras and even from the meat itself that is coming from there, and even waters, because I understand Taita Taveta as a unit, we need to have water recycling. So this one is very much more capable of sustainability and producing the best match solutions. With advancements in technology, we can even have an AI, artificial intelligent greenhouse, of which we combine it with IoT solutions in order now to what can I say, in order now to maintain, in order now to monitor each and every resource inside a greenhouse. The resources now there are utilized, you see, for the sunlight that is coming inside the greenhouse, it is utilized, and even the resources in themselves, the water and the nutrients are utilized, and even now to cater for the diseases and bacterial infections. Now that we can exclude the soil, we use a more improvised and more nutritious soil, that is the cocoa pit. For much ado, I would like to say thank you for this climate change. I'm very much passionate about this climate, and even my home, Taveta, and even the global itself at large, because now I know this globe is my earth, and my earth is my home. So this is where now we say thank you very much for this presentation. May God bless you all, and I give back the stage to Madam from Uganda. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, dear. Thank you. I really like that. Yes, I really like that. Thank you so much. So I would like to welcome someone from a representative from Nigeria. Any representative from Nigeria? Any representative from Nigeria who would like to speak to
Hi,
us to
Letitia.
give...
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I can see 6 people already raising their hands. Maybe you can pick one of them to go ahead.
Really?
Yeah, I think there is Cherub, Flora. They've been raising their hand since ever, actually.
Oh,
So
sorry,
okay, so
dear.
I will unmute them.
Kindly unmute, dear. I'm really sorry about that.
Yes, good evening, my fellow senators. This is Flora Cherop from one of the indigenous communities in Kenya, Pokot community, where climate change is hardly hit. So I want to share my little experience, what I learned in GIS, at the 8 weeks program, participating in the GSI 2026, the 8-week program learning program has been transformative and empowering experience. Throughout the program, I gained practical skills in proposal development, project planning, and effective communications, which have strengthened my ability to design impactful community solutions such as establishment of nurseries. Engaging with fellows from diverse backgrounds was one of the most valuable aspects of the program. The peer-to-peer learning sessions allowed me to exchange ideas, learn new perspectives, and deepen my understanding of climate action and gender inclusions. This has boosted my confidence and broadened my approach to problem solving. I am committed to applying the knowledge gained to environmental challenges, especially in my county, where climate change effect is real. We are feeling it by promoting sustainable alternatives. For example, establishment of nurseries and beehives to mitigate charcoal burning, and also to empower youth groups, women groups, CPOs who actively participate in climate action. Overall, the GSI 2026 experience has strengthened my skills, confidence, and passion for community impact, and I am committed to using these lessons to create lasting change, especially in my community. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, dearly. Thank you. I'm really sorry for delaying you. I didn't see your hand up. I'm really sorry about it. But thank you so much. Without wasting any more minute, let me welcome Mr. Isaac to have a word to us. If he is on the call. Isaac, are you in the meeting? Hello. Can you hear me, guys?
Yep, we can hear you. If Isaac can go on, there are other 4 people who are raising their hands. There is
I don't
Rieche.
know. Sorry, but I don't know why my screen isn't showing any hand up. Is it me with a problem?
Maybe you need to go to the meeting. You see in the screen shared, right? Go to the meeting screen, then you can
At
see
first,
her.
at first I saw the first person, but then the last person I can't be able to see. But if anyone is raising up their hands, oh, there is. Is it Madame Grace?
Yeah, there is Shresha Ghosh. I will
Grace?
unmute her. Okay.
Yes, kindly
Yeah.
unmute. Oh, okay.
Hello everyone. My name is Shrestha and I'm 17 years old. I'm currently a high school student and I live in India. So I don't know. It's basically good night for me as it's almost 10 p.m. in India. But it may be like a good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone who is present here. So today I'm really grateful that I got to join this conference. And thanks to Mr. Kelvin Evans for sending me the meeting details and the conference details so that I could join. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. So, as I'm preparing for the medical entrance exam in India, I'm also very much interested in Model United Nations and climate summits as well. I have a project named Voices to Impact, which is a very big project. Like it covers a lot of parts of the society, like environmental part, social part, human policies part, a lot of part. But it is a very new project. Once I joined Earth Conference, and there I won the Best Outstanding Participant Award. And I also created a pitch for an app, an environmental app. So, under my project, the app is like the very, very first initiative that I'm building. Currently, I have a team of 10 core members along with me. I'm the project lead and founder of Voices to Impact. And along me, 10 more people, 10 more young people are working, and all of them, some of them are 12 years old, some of them are 15 years old, some of them are even in colleges. So yeah, I would like to give a brief idea of this app. um, Previously I also communicated about this app to Mr. Kelvin in advance, but I would like to give a brief idea of this app once again. So my app is an environmental app which is focusing on bringing people who are still not so much aware about environmental changes together. Like coming from India, I have seen many people that they are still not aware about climate issues, about environmental issues, and they don't show enthusiasm in participating. They don't show enough interest to do something good for the environment. So, uh, my app is mainly focusing on bringing people who are indirectly affected by environmental issues together, along with teenagers, the youth who are going to lead the world tomorrow, and children who are going to be the future of the earth one day. So, through my app, like my main feature of the app is the more the impact you make, the bigger the reward you get. So, if someone does a very small initiative for the environment as well, like example cleaning the garbages or cleaning the street, or like feeding stray dogs or stray cats, or maybe like any environmental activities, anything that contributes to the environment in a good positive way, they will get rewarded. So what they have to do is they have to take a video of themselves uh, doing that environmental activity or taking that initiative. And once they post that video or that proof on the app analyzes its transparency, like how true it is. And based on how transparent the video is and or how transparent the proof is, the app gives that in person 10 points. So if a person does one change, one good change for the environment, they get 10 points. And for doing such 10 changes, they get 100 points. So once the person receive, like, sorry, I guess, yeah, 100 points. They receive 100 points. And by repeating this process, they can get rewards. Like if they get 100 points, they are going to get a customized reward from the app. They are going to get a customized environmental keychain from the app. And once they reach 100 points, the points will again get renewed. They have to start again from zero. And again, when they reach 100 points, they will get a reward once again. But the main point comes here. If a person repeats this process for 10 times, they will reach 1000 points. Like if doing one action gives you 10 points, and for doing 10 actions, you get 100 points, then if a person repeats this entire process for 10 times, they are going to receive 1000 points. And once they receive 1000 points, they will get a even bigger reward, a big, even more customized reward from our app's end. Also, in under my app, I also have a feature named Adopt a Tree Initiative, which is basically focusing on reforestation part, like reforestation under the environmental projects. So this is like the two core parts that the app is focusing on. Other than that, the app is also bringing teenagers and children together. Like if teenagers between the age of 11 to 20 go around and teach young children about environmental issues, climate awareness, and show them how important it is for them to step up and do something for the environment, then like if the teenager takes a video of that child explaining the process, like whatever they learned from them or whatever they're willing to do or how they think the issue is important enough, then the teenager would get a certificate from our app's end remarking them as an environmental and climate warrior. So, by this process, the app is bringing together people who are still not focusing on environmental issues in a huge scale and teenagers and children. Now, there may be a lot of questions. So, I would start with the first big question that I face the most is that do you think people who are not so careful enough to do something for the environment they would care enough to do something just for the sake of a reward. So, my answer would be simple. There's a human tendency to do something good for the environment. Like, there's a human tendency to do something more willingly once they know there's an end result or an end reward waiting for them. So, my app focuses on building sustainable, consistent habits among users, among people who don't take environmental issues seriously enough. So, by building these habits, the user will slowly and eventually get it into their system to do something good for the environment. Initially, we may have to give them rewards for doing such changes, but after a point of time, they will do it by their own will. They won't need rewards to do it anymore. Also, the next big question that I face is how do you guarantee that the video they upload is not AI generated or fake? So, in today's world, AI is equally important and harmful, I would say. As someone being a part of modern United Nations, when I take part in MUNs, I have seen people give AI generated text, AI generated speeches, AI generated debates. They even debate on the basis of AI, which is very bad. I believe in human capabilities. I believe that the human mind is capable of achieving anything they want. So, AI can be equally helpful and harmful at the same time. So we can't completely ensure that the video they upload is it's not AI generated or is completely true. But what we can do is we can improve the transparency, we can improve the security system of the app. Once we get the fundings, we may include two-step verification or personal checkups or face ID checkups like that, so that we can ensure the transparency of that video or the proof. Also, the third question that I face the most is how do you think this app is enough helpful for the environment? Uh, like I would like to say about that is if we bring together people who are still not aware together and teenagers and children together, then I think it already covers a huge portion of the society. But also the app is also allowing people who are like involved in environmental activities to do their job. I think I have exceeded my time limit to speak. I would like to share more about this idea later on, but I think for now I should give other speakers their time to speak. Thank you so much for giving me the floor to speak. I'm really grateful for that.
Wow, thank you so much, Kosh, for that wonderful presentations. Um, I really get inspired every time I see young people coming up and giving out ideas. When you look at this girl, she's only 17 years old, but she's giving us ideas that we can also sit down and think about, and we're like, wow, this is good. That is great, and let's all bring young people in this. Really, this generation is, we are having young people leading. Thank you so much, dearly. And so, just as I told you at the beginning, people, let's connect with people. When we connect with people, we shall sit down and then bring out ideas, bring them out, like bring ideas out, and yeah. So, thank you so much, everyone who has given us testimonies about this. It has really been a wonderful session according to your testimonies. I'm really impressed. Thank you so much. Now I'm seeing that the work that was done by the speakers and then by the speakers and the speakers and the moderators wasn't in vain. Thank you so much. So I would like to invite Mr. Evans to continue from here. Then I'll come in.
Yeah,
I'll come in again. I'll come back.
yeah. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Letitia. Thank you very much, Letitia, for the good work. I want to confirm if you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, you can just send a reaction. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Now, actually, I hope you have been able to hear some good testimonials for the good work you have been able to do for the past 8 weeks. I can say thank you very much. I know senators, you are very eager to share testimonies, and we have a very long program, but I will give you a chance to share. We have a space whereby you can be able to share your ideas, being able to talk and connect, and feel free to use the chat as a networking hub, and also we have our WhatsApp group whereby you can be able to share your experience, share and be able to connect. Now we're going to a critical moment whereby now our senators came together, shared experiences, shared best practices, and co-created something amazing, something good. And during these 8 weeks, we had committee sessions. And right now, I would like to introduce you to these committee sessions whereby senators joined together, came together, shared ideas so that they can be able to recommend and being able to create an impact. And we had amazing committees. We had four strong committees, which are crucial in each climate work we're doing. We had a policy committee, we had a community and implementation committee, and also we had a climate finance committee, and also we had advocacy and communication committee. So I would like to invite the first chair who will be able to present their recommendation, which they're able to get. And this recommendation, not just recommendation, they will play a crucial role in shaping our next discussion, as we're having amazing panelists who will be able to discuss a few recommendation and also being able to give real-time insights to them. So I would like to invite our first chair, the chair of policy and advocacy committee. If you are here, you can be able just to unmute and being able to give you a mic to be able to present. You know, the chair of advocacy, policy and advocacy committee. If you are here, you can just yeah.
Can they raise their hand because I muted everybody so no one, so we don't hear like background noises. So he needs to like, or if he can write in the chat so I can unmute him or raise his hand.
Madam Rufina, but maybe she's not around. Let me check and try to see. Or we can start with the chair of community and implementation committee, Madam Flora Cherop. You can just take the mic and continue. Flora Cherop. You can see Flora Cherop.
Okay, thank you. At least I'm unmuted. Once again, guys, good afternoon, fellow senators. This is Flora Cherop from West Pokot County. I also serve as the director of Kapchikatat organization. Kapchikatat is an indigenous name, and we're doing more of environmental conservation and climate change. So I'm here to present our document, the community and implementation document. So I'm going to start. Our guest study area is in Chemaltin community in Leland Ward, West Pokot County, and this document was prepared myself and my fellow committee. So our case study area is in West Pokot. So West Pokot County lies within a semi-arid ecological zone characterized by frequent droughts, erratic rainfall, and increasing land degradation. The Chemaltin community in Leland Ward, Pokot South sub-county is particularly vulnerable due to its location at the intersection of degraded forest landscape and agro-pastoral livelihoods. Forests in this region play a critical role in supporting water catchment systems, biodiversity, and food security. However, unsustainable land use practices, especially uncontrolled livestock grazing, since the land is communally owned, charcoal burning, and illegal logging have significantly contributed to forest degradation. Free-range grazing with forest areas leads to trampling of seedlings and prevents natural regenerations, further weakening ecosystem resilience. Despite policy frameworks such as Kenya Forest Act 2005, which promotes participatory forest management, PFM, through institutions like community forest associations, CFS, community involvement in conservation remains limited due to low awareness, weak institutional linkages, and lack of capacity and lack of full capacity. Our problem statement is Chemaltin community faces interconnected environmental, social, economic, and climate-related challenges such as rapid forest degradation caused by overgrazing, charcoal production, and illegal logging, leading to loss of tree cover, soil erosion, and reduced water retention. Loss of biodiversity, decline in indigenous tree species has disrupted ecosystems, affecting pollinators, wildlife habitats, and availability of medicinal plants. Climate vulnerability. Increased droughts, erratic rainfall, and occasional floods are worsening food insecurity and water scarcity disappropriately affecting women and youth. Weak community engagement, limited participation in forest management due to low awareness, lack of incentives, and weak governance structures. A lack of indigenous tree nurseries. Absence of a local nursery limits access to quality seedlings, forcing reliance on native species. Limited alternative livelihoods. Over dependence on livestock and forest resources increase pressure on already degraded ecosystem. Our existing solutions. To address these challenges, a community-led nature-based intervention is proposed, focusing on ecosystem restoration and sustainable livelihoods. Our first intervention was establishment of an indigenous tree nursery. A community-managed nursery will produce indigenous seedlings to reforestation in degraded forest areas, farms, and water catchment zones at the community level. Beekeeping for sustainable livelihoods, installation of beehives to provide income, reduce the reliance on forest exploitation, and enhance pollination for ecosystem restorations. Our third intervention is capacity building and training. Training programs targeting women and youth on sustainable forest management, tree propagation, beekeeping, and climate-smart agriculture. Our fifth intervention was strengthening participatory forest management, PFM, revitalizing community forest associations to improve governance, accountability, and collaboration with Kenya Forest Service. Lastly is on community monitoring and environmental awareness, establishing local monitoring systems and eco-educational initiatives to track progress and promote environmental stewardship. Our key challenges and gaps in our implementation program. While these solutions are relevant, several barriers affect the effectiveness, such as limited financial resources and technical support, weak coordination between community groups and government institutions, low awareness and limited skills in sustainable practices, inadequate involvement of communities in decision-making processes, sustainability risks due to lack of long-term support systems, opportunities for improvement and scaling. There are significant opportunities to strengthen the impact, for example, expanding green nurseries operations to supply neighboring communities, strengthening partnerships with government agencies such as NGOs and donors, promoting women and youth in climate initiatives, scaling up alternative livelihoods such as beekeeping and agroforestry, integrating traditional knowledge with modern conservation practices. Here, indigenous knowledge is very important. Community and co-creation. Our community participation is currently moderate, with involvement mainly in implementation rather than design. We do involve community. We do involve communities while before we implement any project. Strengthening co-creation is critical to ensure ownership and sustainability, greater inclusion of women, because women are the one so much affected by climate change. Youth and local leaders in planning and decision making will enhance accountability and long-term success. Strengthening community forest association will also improve governance and local coordination. Alignment with our global frameworks. This initiative aligns with global climate and development agendas. It contributes to the Paris Agreement through climate mitigation such as reforestation and adaptations. It's all about the building resilience. It also supports sustainable development goals, particularly goal number 13, that is climate action, goal number 15, life on land, SDG number 1, no poverty, and SDG number 5, gender equality. Our recommendations. Our first recommendation is strengthening community involvement in project design and decision-making processes, increase funding and technical support for grassroots initiatives. Funding here is very important because, especially for the youth groups and the women groups at the community level, building capacity to continuous training and awareness programs for youth groups, women groups, self-help groups, CPOs, and minority groups. Promote scalable nature-based solutions and alternative livelihoods, enhance monitoring and evaluation systems for long-term impact tracking. In conclusion, the Chemaltin Community Initiative demonstrates the potential of locally driven nature-based solutions to address climate change and livelihood challenges. However, for meaningful and lasting impact, stronger community ownership, institutional support, and sustainable implementation strategies are essential. This is the end of my document. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Flora, for the amazing presentation. Actually, truly reflects and covers various aspects. It shows the challenges you're facing and also the key recommendation you're proposing as the senators. And that was the main theme for us during the start of our journey in 22nd February this year. So it is just an amazing experience to see you guys being able to develop such a document. I hope we have various experts who will be able to share, and also maybe some people who have some various questions, you can be able to drop them in the chat box and we can be able to respond and give you a chance. Now I'd like to invite the second chair for climate finance and partnership, Mr. Raphael, and also Mr. Paul, if you can hear me.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Yes, good evening. I hope I'm audible enough. Yes, thank you. So I'm the chair of a committee that deals with finance, and we sat down and came up with a very good report here. We'll be presenting alongside my colleague, my secretary, that is Mr. Paul. So I will start, then he will take over, then I will finish. So we came to realize that in climate and in whatever we do, especially to cater for our climate, we need finances. And not just finances, the management of finances. And that's where we come in. So we've started by asking ourselves, why would people or maybe donors say no, or maybe have that second thought in funding our programs? Why do our programs, especially the youth-run programs, tend to fail midway or maybe not achieve their or their planned results? So the answer is bitterness in it's bitter in its clarity, and that includes the funding and the funding model and the funding plan. So this is what we resolved, and this is what we were discussing. So we decided to come up with a document which will show our investors or maybe our donors or maybe the people we are partnering with our vision, what we intend to do, the goals we intend to achieve, and the expected or maybe the outcome and what we may need. So one thing we came to realize is that when planning for financial documents or for the finance, we need to have the visual clarity of what we are doing. One, there are what we call conflicts between realities and maybe the expectations. We might maybe expect something and maybe that's not what we come to get. But we were doing an example. Assume you have a document or you have a plan which maybe may take maybe 100,000, and maybe the donor or what you are able to raise is 50 or maybe less. What do you do in such a scenario? So those are the barriers, and we discussed them. And one of the main barriers is the paper trap. That is the documentation itself. How do we put this document to ensure that our donor or the person we are partnering with is able to see what we are doing, what we stand for, and is able to come in and chip in and contribute? So we came to realize that most of the youth programs are not registered. That is under the government, under the law, and that's the main challenge. Because when something is not registered, it is very easy for what we call scammers to try to use such things or such programs in the name of climate change to extort people, and that's not good. So one of the things we came to realize is that the paper trap, and we must be able to ensure that we are registered and we make sure that whatever we are doing, it's clear. Because in these finances, we all know that revolving around finances, the trust is the line between trust and hate is very thin, and therefore everything needs to be put to clarity. The other one is the age experience. That is the age experience paradox. We call it the age experience gap, whereby we as young people, and I hope maybe majority here are young people, whatever we are experiencing right now and whatever we want to do may be a bit different from the scenario which maybe some maybe of our parents or maybe grandparents were experiencing then. Right now, we check at the issue of climate change and the global warming, which is rampant, and we need to ensure that we do this climate work in a way which suits our current situation. And the other thing we came to realize as a major problem is the scalability myth. That's whereby we as senators or maybe the planners of climate action, we may tend to think that maybe in a certain project, we need a certain amount of resources or funds. Then we come to realize that maybe it was less, more, or it was not used according to the plan. And so this has been a problem, and in our report, we have checked at that, and we have come up with resolutions. And I would like to call upon my secretary, that is Mr. Paul, if you can hear me, to take us through where funders and youth talk past each other. That is the gap between the funders and maybe the programs which we tend to maybe be doing. Where do they crash, or which is this gap? Mr. Paul, can you hear me? Paul, okay, so let me just continue. So we found out that maybe the funders may want formal registration and edited or not edited, the edited books. That is the plans and the usage of the funds. But you might find out that some of these informal groups, they have no clear records. And that's one flashpoint whereby even if the vision of the climate is the climate action is clear, we may not be able to find the correct the funders who are able to stand with us, because they look at the plan, they look at what we have presented, and they think that maybe this is not clear. So the other thing we came to realize is that the strategic plans, when preparing a financial document, especially in such an area of climate, you need to have a plan, a strategy. We have short-term strategies and long-term strategies. Short-term, maybe months, maybe a year or less. But long-term, can you check at when planning for this climate action and the funds? What is the goal in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, in 15, or maybe in the future? And that was one of the things as my committee we did check a lot. We came to realize that some of the youth programs or the climate programs, maybe majority tend to fail to acquire the necessary funding because their planning is just short term, maybe weeks or maybe months, short term. So therefore, when a funder comes to see the plan, they think that, oh, this is just maybe a joke, or maybe this is not something worth investing. And so in our climate, in our finance plan, we came up with a plan whereby we have those contingencies. We have short-term plans and long-term plans at the same time. We intend to achieve this in a short time, but in the long run, this is our plan. And that will ensure that we get financiers who are able to fund our projects. The other one is the proven scalability and reapplication of data. That is what I had earlier said about the realities. We might find out that maybe the forest cover of our country, Kenya, for example, assuming it's 30%, and we want to make it to maybe 50%. So we must have clear data to ensure that we lay strategies to ensure that this cover is able to move from maybe 20% to 40 or to the target we want to achieve. And that will help donors to have a belief and to see that the plan is scalable well. So those are kind of the challenges and the issues which emerge when preparing financial documents. And we may have a very good financial document, but at the same time, we fail to acquire funders because our maybe the plan is not well put. The plan has some kind of challenges, and maybe it might not be what the planners or the donors maybe wish for. So we came to several recommendations and several outputs which will help us be able to prepare a financial document which is very friendly and which will ensure that we are able to get partners to work with in our climate action. So one, we made sure that the plan is flexible. So we might plan, but maybe the donors or the people we are working with maybe have different terms of work. This we decided to be a bit we call it flexible, not a bit, but flexibility, which will ensure that if they come and they tell us our terms are this, and maybe we tell them our terms, we sit down and come up with one MOU, memorandum of understanding. This will ensure that we are able to be at par and to ensure a smooth working. The other recommendation is the legal financial sponsorship. That is, one, before starting or doing anything, we must ensure that the authorities know what we are doing. And in this, we help the finance report, because our funders will be able to see that this is a legal, an organization which is legal under the law, so they won't have that fear of maybe they are operating against the law or maybe doing something which is not good. So in the finance report, attaching such a document which shows the government approvals and whatever, it ensures that they earn our trust. They are able to see through what we are doing, and they are able to know that with no doubt that whatever we are doing is good and it's not illegal. So the other thing is the shift from scalability to aggregated impact. So instead of saying that we want to plant maybe 10 billion trees, can we check at the aggregated impact? What if we start by this, in simple terms, this is step by step, because we cannot be able to plant maybe 1 million trees at once, but we can do it in phases. We are able to monitor the progress. And in our financial report, having such a plan, having such a clause whereby they are able to see our plan, they are able to get to understand what we are doing. So as I wind up on our climate finance report, we also came to a recommendation of build a pre-accelerator for documentation readiness. One, it's kind of a short-term thing whereby you do it to pilot and see what if we do this in a large scale, what are the impacts. So in preparing this financial report, we are able to see if we used a certain amount of finances to do a certain project of a certain worth. So what about if we do it now in a bigger scale? We are able to have that documentation readiness, and to avoid something I earlier termed as the gap between the reality and the plan. So we also committed to some few things. That's mapping up existing sponsors or existing organizations willing to finance climate action. The other thing is we drafted a financial, that is drafting a financial pledge document, where with all the documents I have earlier stated, that is the registration and whatevers. And the final thing we came to conclusion with is that we allowed ourselves to have that aggregation, that step by step, that reality whereby we are able to monitor what we are doing, and our finances, we are able to document them well. So we don't need to be in a table. We need to make this table ourselves. We need to make this financial plan ourselves to ensure that it meets all the needs, all the criteria, so that we can be able to get partners to work with, and we are able to have a good climate plan. So those are the challenges and the recommendations of the financial committee. And the person presenting to you was Rafael Irungu Maina, the chairman of financial committee. And if I would like to leave at that point, not unless someone has a question.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Rafael Maina Irungu, for the amazing reflections. Actually, it truly reflects and shows how our week 4 on resource mobilization was very powerful. And also the week 2 on system and science was very powerful. I'm really impressed by the recommendation. I hope you guys are also impressed by what these guys did. And it is amazing. It's not just document, but it's a reflection of the good work we have been able to do for the past 8 weeks. Now I would like to welcome the third chair, Mr. Felix Ogola from the Advocacy and Communication Committee. If you, Mr. Felix, you can hear me, you can take the mic and continue. Mr. Felix. Mr. Felix, if you can hear me. You guys, if you can hear me, you can just send a reaction.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, you can continue. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm Felix Ogola, chairperson of Advocacy and Communication Committee. And now we are all aware that climate change remains one of the most urgent global challenge that needs to be addressed urgently. And now we need to have effective ways of climate advocacy. And this largely depends on how well information is communicated, and particularly to young people who are the drivers of change. Now, areas where we need to address was the key challenges in climate advocacy. What are the key challenges of climate advocacy? Number one, um, sometimes we use complex and technical language that it is very difficult for young people to understand. And therefore, this is one of the hinders to youth engagement. Then again, we also have limited access to things that relate well, either locally and also at personal level, that can create narratives that youths can engage themselves in championing for climate change and also participating in climate advocacy and proper communication. And again, there's also limited inclusion of youth voices in climate conversations. So many youth are left out on issues to do with climate, and therefore this is also a very important challenge because it is very few that are included or that always participate. Then also there's the overemphasis on problems rather than actionable solutions, whereby we always focus on the problem or the challenge at hand, but we don't have step uh, actions that can address the same problem. And those are basically one of the major challenges in climate advocacy. And now we also have the root cause or sometimes systems thinking perspective. One of them is that education system do not effectively simplify or contextualize climate science. And for example, in Kenya, it is something that if you look at our syllabus, it is something that is considered, but it's not given priority, even though climate issues remain a very big challenge, not only in Kenya, but also globally. Then again, climate communication is often top down. It is something that is led by experts rather than the youth. So for this to be addressed, youth should be involved from the lowest as we climb the ladder to the top governance. So this can bring change and the more youth can be included in championing for advocacy and the proper communication. Then you also have limited access to platforms where young people can actively participate. Uh, and again, when we talk of platforms like the social media, it is not much used by the young people to uh, push or to advocate or to lobby for issues to do with climate. Then messaging does not reflect the everyday realities of the young people. These are also the root cause of advocacy and communication in when youth are engaged in climate issues. Then when we talk of effective advocacy tools and approaches, number one effective tool is storytelling. And this can also include sharing personal and community-based experiences. And these are the things we've also seen during our during the period we've been having these programs. Then digital media is also a very important tool to be used in leveraging platforms, and those leveraging platforms such as social media for short and engaging content. And this is also an area of focus, the same way youths, most of the youth use this digital media to create content that earn the money. Again, we can also tap this to also promote climate issues. And this can be a very good platform for communicating and also advocating for climate issues. Then we can also be having simplified messaging, and this translates to complex concepts into everyday language, whereby every person can or every youth is able to understand the information and also disseminate it. Then creative expression, where we use art, music, culture, and even faith-based approaches to communicate climate issues. So those are the effective advocacy tools and approaches that we can leverage on to ensure that we improve on advocacy and communication. Then now we also have recommendations. One is we can promote youth-led storytelling and content creation platforms or approaches. Then again, we can also use local examples to make climate issues more relatable and also focus on practical, solution-oriented messaging. Then again, we can also utilize digital platforms popular among the youth. And already we all know these digital platforms that are popular among the young people that can be that we can take advantage of to uh, give to use and give effective communication and also uh, improve on our advocacy. Then also we can also ensure inclusive participation in climate advocacy and policy discussions. And in all round, youths are supposed to be involved in this. The now conclusion is that for young people to be effectively engaged, climate communication must evolve, become more relatable, and of course inclusive, and also action oriented. And by doing this, we empower youth as active participants in shaping climate narratives. And this will be a milestone for strengthening advocacy efforts and also drive meaningful change to climate issues. And that is Felix again, chairperson of Advocacy and Communication Committee. And I also want to say that I've been very grateful and I've been learning a lot since the program started. Uh, thank you. Thank you, Senator.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Senator Felix. Actually, it's amazing. Actually, I'm learning a lot from you guys and also the good reflections and also the good recommendation. I'm hoping it will be able to create a very good roadmap for us as you guys transit now to be for climate and your communities and your areas of influence. I have the chair of the policy and advocacy committee, chair of policy, Madam. If you can hear me. Or Rufina. Or we had the secretary, Mr. Muhammad.
Hello.
Have this meeting ended, or what? Any one of the moderators, would you please step in? Any one of the moderators of this meeting? Last call to this meeting, moderators.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, we are supposed to be having a panel discussion right now, of which you can now begin. I hope all the panelists are around. We'll be having 2 panelists for this session. We'll be asked some questions, and then we'll be answering, and also we'll also have a session who will.
Hello, we can't hear.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You are ready.
Yeah. Like I was saying, we'll be having a panel discussion right now so that some women can share. Some people can share, can reply to some questions, and also we'll have a session whereby we can ask questions to them depending on what we have spoken about. So my name is Alima Nanyama. I'm from Mombasa, Kenya, and I'm hoping all the panelists are here.
Hello, yeah, yes, we're here. My name is Kelvin.
Yes, Kelvin, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
I thought probably we were supposed to be asked questions, or probably the panelists can be able to, the moderator can be able to guide us on how we can be able to proceed.
All right, can the moderator step in and take over a call for this meeting, moderator?
Halima.
Hello, guys. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, Letitia, we can hear you.
Can hear you.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. We are sorry for the disorganization. I think it's due to the network. I don't know what's happening, but maybe the network is really poor. So after that, the next program was about the panel discussions, but then I don't know where my moderators gone. Yes, you people. My name is Letitia. It's the simplest name you can call me. I'm seeing very many people are saying, thank you. They want to address me, but they are using moderator from Uganda, moderator from Uganda. My name is Letitia. Yes, it's a simple name, just a reminder. So right about now, let me welcome Madam Alima to take us through the program of the panel discussion. I don't know whether she is on the call. You're welcome, Mister. Thank you, Letitia from Uganda. Oh, good. Yes, I'm proud to be a Ugandan. I am trying to get Miss Alima. Someone was talking about the questions, dear. I didn't get you well. Someone was talking about asking the questions, and I didn't get you well. Anyone who has a question and you've risen up your hand and not have not picked you, please, my screen can't show that. So just write the questions in the chat. I'll be reading each and every question that you're asking. When is the meeting ending? This is the last session that we are having, but due to the poor connection, I think we are having a delay in this.
There is Muhammad F. Kelly who's raising his hand.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Kindly unmute and speak.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, dear, I can hear you.
All right. Okay, first of all, I want to say congratulations to every one of us for going through this program. It was actually impactful. We actually learned a lot, especially me. Yeah, knowing some strategic things pertaining about policy, evidence-based in policy making and other stuff. Everything actually was impactful to me. Yeah, once again, thanks to everybody who participated, and big thanks go to the organizers of this particular program. But I just have a little concern. I'm part of the, a committee of advocacy and policy. We have been discussing for the past few days, how, we're going to do our presentation or other stuff and things. I call for meeting, ask the chairperson, which is Rufi, for the meeting, and she called for the meeting. It was unfortunate that the day the meeting was set, I was unfortunate to be part of the meeting. I sent her a personal text. But since then, she actually they actually have the meeting. They had a meeting and asked for the input of the meeting while they discuss everything so they can share it with us. But it was so unexpected that she had the information of what was discussed in the meeting. She had it. When you click on it to even open the document,
Hello. Hello.
I think he's facing issues
I
with his
think
network.
his network is so poor. Thank you so much. Congratulations to everyone once again. So I've seen a question here. Someone is asking for Senate graduates. Are they getting certificates? My dear, you're all getting certificates. As long as you participated and you made sure you completed all the assignments, you're all getting certificates. So I am welcoming Miss Paul.
participated.
Yes, Mr. Kelvin, if you're on the meeting.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sorry for the connectivity issue. Can you hear me clearly? Am I clear?
Yes, please, you're clear. Kindly take over.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Sorry for the the technical issues. We have Madam Malima who joined us, who will be moderating our session. And thank you very much, Senators, for sharing your insights in the committee stage. Now we are getting into a very critical stage where now we are going to have our panel discussion, and we have Mr. Kevin Macharia, who has been able to share his bio in the chat box. You can go through it and being able to see and connect with him. So I'll start with Mr. Kevin so that he can maybe being able to give us a brief of what he has been able to grab from this conversation and being able to share some reflections from this conversation. Then I'll invite the next person who will be able to share, Mr. Mohammed, who will be able to share now his own reflections so that we can have a consolidated voice and an expert guidance from this, because Mr. Kevin and Mr. Mohammed have been able to have a very good expertise in terms of in this space of climate, and have been able to participate in various conversations. I can say example, you see Mr. Kevin has been able to participate in Mandela Washington Fellowship, has been able to participate in various conversations, and also is part of Yongo. So he'll be able to share to you guys how you can be able to join. Welcome, Mr. Kevin, if you can hear me.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you be able to hear me?
You are clear, Mr. Kevin. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So, distinguished guests, fellow panelists, and of course, most importantly, the 67 climate senators graduating today. Congratulations and congratulations once again. This is a powerful milestone. My name is Kelvin Macharia. I'm the founder of the Active Global Citizen Initiative. This is a platform that is dedicated to empowering the young people globally to become leaders, innovators, change makers who are basically driving sustainable development. So I think I'll address few areas to everyone, more so our today's graduates. And those are two areas. So one of the areas that I'll be able to address is basically how can the youth-led initiative move from the small projects to sustained movement that influence policies. I've heard some of the challenges that were being mentioned by the different different leaders from your different areas concerning the challenges that they come across and everything. So I'll start by saying that every global movement you see today, they of course started as a small idea in a room like this. But the difference between a big project, the difference sometimes between a project and a movement is not the size. It is the structure, the strategy, and the scale. And with that having said that, I think we need our graduates, once they start moving and doing the activity, they need to move from passion to systems. Most youth initiatives start with passion, and that's powerful. But passion alone does not influence policies. To scale, you must build systems, structures, as well as continuity beyond individuals. Ask yourself, if you step away today, for example, from your initiative, does the initiative continues? So I think the other thing that we also need to address is basically moving from activity into impact evidence. Most of the time, the policy listens to the evidence, not emotion. We must measure our impact. We must document our results. We need to be able to turn our work into data and stories, because when you walk into a policy room, you don't just say, we care about climate. Most oftenly, we should be able to say, we have impacted 5,000 households, reduced emission, and here's the data. So we need to be very stout with how we are going to be able to carry the objective and the vision and the mission of our different organization. So we also need to have these graduates move from isolation to ecosystem. No movement grows alone. You must build partnership, collaboration, and of course, move across the different cross sectors alliance. Most of the time you see that government, private sector, and the youth communities is basically how people build movements or create an ecosystem. We also need to move from action to the global voices. Of course, we all started small, we started local, but do not stay local. We need to leverage on the digital platforms, the global forums, as well as the policy spaces. Our stories must travel. If you want to influence policies, you don't just run projects. We build movements that cannot be ignored. And when the movement grows, they naturally demand a seat at the table. which now brings me to the other segment of an area of concern that I want to talk about before I pass the mic to my fellow speaker. So most of the time is when we ask ourselves, what must change for the youth voices to be taken seriously in a policy space? Let me be honest, and to be specific, a bit bold. Youth voices are already powerful. The challenge is not just being heard, it's being taken seriously and trusted with influence. So what must change? We need to move from tokenism to trust. Too often, youth are invited into rooms, but not into decision. We must move from youth participation to youth co-creation and leadership. Youth should not just sit at the table, they should help design the table. We also need to move from advocacy to expertise. Passion opens doors, but expertise keeps you in the room. So young people, you must invest in knowledge, technical skills, as well as policy understanding, because influences comes when you basically you can say, here is the solution and here is how it works. So we also need to move from being invited to owning space. We must stop waiting to be invited as youth. We need to build our own platform. We need to lead our own initiative. We need to create our own influences. This is exactly basically why I founded Africa Global Citizen Initiative, to ensure that young people are not just participants, but drivers of the global change. Finally, we need to move from individual voices to collective power. One voice can be ignored, a movement cannot. When youth organizes across countries, across sectors, across shared goals, this is when policy begins to shift. So as I close down, I want to say that the future of climate policy will not only be decided by the young people, it will be decided by the young people who are prepared, organized, and unstoppable. To the graduating climate senators, this is not your end of your journey. It is just a launch pad. The world does not need ideas. It needs you. It needs your courage, your leadership, as well as your action. Go out. Do not just participate in the change. Lead it. Thank you very much. And once again, my name is Kelvin Macharia.
Yeah, thank you very much for the energy and also the good insights of being able to share, Mr. Kelvin. It's really amazing to see the insights of being able to share, and also I've seen the reaction of the climate senators, and actually this is a turning point for them, because for us, we don't believe in having just leaders, but we need action-oriented leaders who can be able to act, and that's what we took our climate senators for the 8 weeks program, so that they can be able to change them from agitators now to legislators. And I hope I have been able to see a reflection of them being able to do that during their presentation. I think I'll invite the next speaker, who is Mr. Mohammed Hussein. Mr. Mohammed. Mr. Mohammed. Maybe as Mr. Mohammed prepares himself, I'll have maybe 2 senators to ask a question to Mr. Kelvin, so that they can be able to get maybe first-hand insights, because I've seen Mr. Kelvin has a very good accolades and also maybe some good experience. Maybe if you are a senator, you want to ask any question, or give a chance for you guys to be able to ask. This is an opportunity, this is a golden opportunity for you guys to be able to ask. And it does not come very easy, because getting a minute for Mr. Kelvin is not an easy job. So anyone who has a question?
Evans.
Any senator? Yeah.
Hello, Evans.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah. We are having a certain question in the chat. I am passing through the chat, and I think this is about what Mr. Kelvin has been talking about. Yes, the person started with congratulating everyone upon reaching this success. Then he has 2 questions. Thank you so much, sir. The question is, how does the GSI intend to provide the practical support to young leaders to transform the empirical data collected in the field, such as our forest, maybe he's from DRC, into bankable projects capable of attracting international green finance? I think that is to the GSI. Yeah, but I think Mr. Kevin can also give tips on how to change the ideas into actions, as I was talking about that in the beginning. So maybe Mr. Kevin can also help us in that, because it cannot be specifically GSI, but it can also be any other organization. Then the other question is, in regions with high levels of extractive activity, such as, this is so, how can what legislative mechanisms do you recommend to ensure that young people's green skills are formally integrated into the environmental rehabilitation plans of major mining companies? So maybe this is a mining company. So those are the two questions that I'm seeing here. Yes, that are directed to Mr. Kevin. Thank you so much, Evans.
So
Yeah.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I'll just highlight briefly on the aspect of how basically ideas can be able to be transformed into bankable solution that can be able to be funded. So basically, so ideas do not just get funded. That's one thing that we should be able to know, that ideas do not get funded, or any concept does not just get funded, but the projects do. So we need to figure out on how can we be able to change or transform our ideas into bankable projects. And by so saying, so the question then will be, how do we move then from the idea to something that is investable or in a willing or in a supportive ecosystem? So we need to not just be able to create solutions around one thing, or basically come up with a solution that is already existing. We need to be coming up with projects and ideas which are a bit concrete, projects and ideas that can be able to create more big impact. Because most of the times, when you look at the people who are doing the funding and the people who are giving out funds to anyone, they'll prefer to fund an idea that can be able to create impact, an idea that is reaching many people, an idea that can be able to be transformed or replicated into other areas. So when you figure out that sometimes we have visions or we have certain concept, it's also very good, as I'd mentioned before, try to see how best to be able to connect with peers, connect with experts, connect with mentors. You can be able to share your idea, and they might even be able to refine it in a better way for it to be able to communicate impact. And by so doing, whoever is a good, willing person to fund any opportunity or project, trust me, they'll be able to fund you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Kevin, for sharing those insights. Actually, it is amazing. And one of the key things we mentioned, actually, maybe during week 3, actually, we said maybe funders don't fund emotions, they fund bankable projects. So actually, you guys maybe can be able to take note of that, because that is a very key thing, because you can be having a very good idea, but it's not well structured. It's not bankable, like it's just more of ideas and emotions. So I hope you guys are able to learn, and also being able to go back to the reflection and the assignment you did, so that you can be able to brainstorm. And thank you very much for sharing that. And someone mentioned a very key thing in terms of maybe influencing policy in terms of mining and extractive. So actually we did that during our GSI program, and I hope you guys were able to maybe check reference on week 3, where we learned about more of legislative drafting, on how you can do a draft, on how you can do a petition. And it was more insightful for you guys to be able to learn. So I love to give a chance to one other person who would like to share insights before I give a chance to now to Mr. Kelvin to share maybe the last reflections from this conversation. If you have, I can give a chance to one last person. Yes, Mr. Abel.
Mine is hello, good evening, team. Again, mine is that I've realized all the training that we have been through is all about how to package ourselves and how to maneuver in this world, whereby most of the people out here are in this space. They know how to do it, but they don't know who to approach and how to pitch the idea. So my idea was, why can't we have a charter for each and every country? We do a research for each country. What are their needs in the youth who are in climate change? Or also we can do as a Senate and enable it to the simpler form to the communities. Because when you're looking at this concept is whereby most communities and people from those communities have concrete ideas, but they don't know how to channel them. Most young people have that gap. So why can't we look for a chapter for each country to have, even if it's an online workshop like these ones, once in a month or twice in a month, to just review and see how we're going to work in this country, how we're going to partner with Uganda, how we're going to partner with a certain country. Because when we were beginning this, I had said that every journey needs a framework on how it's supposed to be done. So I think that's my idea.
Yeah, thank you very much, Abel, for sharing that. And actually, we'll take that into consideration and also be able to engage you guys so that we can be able to share more about it. And also, we have something we're working on known as African Youth Climate Mandate, and it's anchored to what you're saying. And it's more of like young people being able to co-create together. And this mandate, we started this during the African Green Education Summit, and it has 4 pillars, that is storytelling, it has innovation, and also it has policy, and it has action at home. So we will consolidate it to see how best we can be able to share with you guys so that you can be able to add insights once we are done. So I would like to invite Mr. Kelvin to share maybe the reflections. Hello.
Oh, hello. One last thing on that.
Yeah.
I'd like to bring you into what I shared earlier on 800,000 Dream in Kenya. So if you feel free to join it in Kenya chapter, it's better we come up and shape from each and every county we are in. I'll help you to find out on how you do it in each, and we'll be able to look for funding into that as a chapter.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll reach out to you. I'll reach out to us so that we can be able to see how best we can tailor it to our climate center so they can be able to benefit and everyone here in this call. So feel free to reach out. I hope you have our contacts so that we can have a conversation about it. Thank you very much for bringing that, and that's what we call collaboration and co-creation. So thank you very much, Mr. Abel. So I'll give a chance to Mr. Kevin.
Thank you very much once again to our incredible 67 climate senators graduating today. As we come to the close of this powerful session, I want to leave you with one reflection. Today is not just a graduation, it is a transitional point from learning to leading, from ideas to action, and then of course, from potential to responsibility. Because the truth is, the climate crisis will not be able to wait. The world will not be able to pause, and the future will not be able to be built by intentions alone. It will be built by those who act. I look at all of you, and I don't just see graduates. I see builders of solution. I see voices of influence. I see leaders who will be able to shape the policies. And of course, I see people who can be able to transform industries and communities. But here is a challenge. I leave it with you. Do not just go out and start a project. Build system. Do not raise awareness. Go and drive measurable impact. Do not just seek opportunities. Create them. There will be moments when the resources are limited. Systems feel closed and the progress feels slow. But remember this always. Every major transformation in history started with the people who refused to wait. And as you step into this world, carry this mindset. Think locally, but act globally. Build collaboration and not competition. And most importantly, stay consistent, because impact is not built on moment. It's built over time through persistence and purpose. Let me leave you with this final thought. The future of the planet will not be decided in boardrooms alone. It will be shaped by bold, committed young leaders like you, who are ready to act, to lead, and transform. Congratulations once again to the climate senators. The world is not waiting for you to be ready. It is waiting for you to lead. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kelvin. Actually, your word reflects the commitment you have towards making sure that every young person in Kenya grows and becomes a force of good, and also being able to change their local communities with a global mindset. And that is our dream we have as GSI, so that we can be able to build a community of young people who act locally but think globally. So I would like to thank you very much for joining.
But my question before.
Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you.
Kindly mute.
You did not have me come all the way down here for this bullshit. I did.
Isaac and Ruth, kindly mute yourself. So thank you very much, and I can say thank you very much, and it was an amazing being able to hear and being able to listen to you guys. So I'd like to invite now you guys to a very critical session. Now we have Mr. Jimmy Kaikai, who was the project manager for this Climate Senate, and was working with me, Madam Bridget Kangai. So I'd like to invite Mr. Jimmy Kakai to continue from there. If you can hear me, Mr. Jimmy, can take the mic. Mr. Jimmy, if you can hear me. Maybe while Mr. Jimmy is preparing himself, we can now give a chance to the policy and policy team. The chair is already here, so you can just unmute and present your committee briefs.
Hello. Hi, everyone. So my name is Rufina. I was the chair of the Policy and Governance Committee, and I'm really sorry for joining late. I had something to attend to that was very urgent. But yeah, I'm just going to briefly share on the policy brief from the Policy and Governance group. So our brief was on bridging the gap between climate commitments and localized impacts, advancing responsive and integrated climate governance. So our main issue, or rather the key problem that we identified was that climate change is increasingly manifesting through localized high frequency shocks, including urban flooding, like we saw recently in Nairobi, extreme heat that happens more frequently than noted, and also environmental degradation. So, despite significant progress in global and national climate governance systems, the current systems remain structurally misaligned with the urgency scale and localized nature of climate risks. Responses are often delayed, fragmented, and insufficiently targeted, resulting in persistent exposure and reduced resilience at the community levels. And when we talk about community levels, we are definitely referring to people who get the first impact of these climate shocks. And this reflects a broader systemic challenge, that is the inability of existing frameworks to effectively translate policy commitments into timely, actionable, and locally responsive outcomes. So, in terms of policy context of our identified problem, we discussed on we analyzed the Paris Agreement and the Climate Change Act of Kenya, and also we went through some of the NDCs. And we just generally we knew what all those frameworks work on, and we came to a conclusion that while the frameworks demonstrate strong alignment in ambition and structure, their operational effectiveness is constrained by implementation deficits, weak enforcement mechanisms, and insufficient integration across sectors and governance levels. And some of the key gaps we identified within the frameworks, both the national and the international ones, are implementation deficit. That is the difference between on-ground execution and the policy designs. We also identified the gap on enforcement weakness, which came by when there's lack of consistent monitoring and accountability mechanisms. And then there's the localization constraint, where climate policies remain insufficiently tailored to context specific realities, especially within urban and informal settings. Like the policies are just written but are not specifically anchored towards what's happening, the local context of some of these happenings, climate issues. We also had institutional fragmentation. That is the limited coordination across governance levels. That is the international, national, and the local levels. And then there's the financing limitations, where there is over reliance on external funding, and that is technically undermining, and it undermines sustainability, because when you rely on something that's not guaranteed, things don't go the right way. There's also responsiveness gap, absence of real-time data-driven response systems delays action during climate shock. So when we don't have mitigation and adaptation designs, policy designs that are easy to access when there's some of these climate shocks, it brings a problem with working on these problems in real time. That makes the problems be dealt with at a later date after the harm has been escalated. There's also the societal engagement gap, definitely, where there's insufficient integration of community participation, and behavioral change limits long-term impact. So some of the strategic recommendations that some the senators of the committee came to come up with are institutionalized climate responsive mechanisms. So here we develop data-driven trigger systems that enable rapid, predefined responses to climate events, meaning that some um, we have some response systems in place for when there's floods, for when there's heating, for when there's maybe cyclones or those stuff whenever they happen. So having those responsive mechanisms predefined before the issues happen makes it easy to curb the climate issues. Also, this decentralize and strengthen local governance. So we would like for there to be empowerment of subnational authorities with clear mandates, resources, and accountability frameworks. Because most of the time, what brings us down is accountability. Something happens, but no one wants to take responsibility. And this one will help to operationalize climate policy effectively. There's also enforce sustainable urban and environmental standards, mandate and monitor compliance with climate resilient urban planning, including green infrastructure, waste systems, and ecosystem based approaches. When we talk about this urban planning and including the green infrastructure, we talk about including green spaces in the urban settings so that our cities have some green left in it for like carbon absorption and stuff. Also, like waste systems, helping to sort waste in like organic plastic and inorganic so that we don't have to mix our waste because plastic waste is just not the way to go. And also enhance multi-stakeholder coordination. So here we're talking about strengthening collaboration between public institutions, private sector actors, civil society organizations to improve policy coherence and implementation capacity. So for public institutions, we know public institutions like maybe the banks, government, and also the private sector. There are some other banks in the private sector. We have some NGOs. The CSOs also, we have NGOs here. We also have some of these CBOs. We have all these international corporations that collaborate with the climate issues projects. So we also have diversify and stabilize climate financing. Here we advocate for promoting blended financing models, including public-private partnerships, CSR engagement. We talked about CSR engagement in one of our meetings, I remember. Here we also include grants and also locally generated funding streams. So we don't rely on one funding system that can let us down. We have at least backup plans when the issues come. We don't have to like delay action because of lack of funding. There's also to integrate cross sectoral systems where we align climate action with social protection, health systems, education, and urban development to ensure comprehensive and inclusive impact. Here, for climate action, like stuff like flooding, when we mix climate action towards flooding with the urban development, where we talk about buildings being built where the drainage systems are effective, also for the roads and leaving some drainage systems so that everywhere is like, I don't know how we call it, cemented or something, but there is no, so that there is no drainage system where when the rain comes, there is nowhere for the water to be absorbed into the soil. Also, health systems. When you talk about waste management, we are caring about our health because plastic waste is not good for our health. Social protection. When there's most of these climate issues, there is increase in crime rates, there's increase in GBV cases and stuff. So we have to integrate cross-sectoral systems to curb these climate issues. Also, there's strengthening community and youth engagement. Basically, I think for me, this is the core of fighting this problem because without youth at the table, without youth at the decision table, nothing is going to change. So we should embed climate awareness, education, and participation within institutional and community structures to drive behavioral and systemic change. Because as much as if I just relate it to Nairobi, there's lots of youth in the climate space in Nairobi, around Nairobi. Maybe it's my circle, but I think there is lots of youth in the space. But what about other places? Most people are leaving their cities and their counties to come to Nairobi or to pursue different interests in the name of because they do not have the awareness or the capacity. So strengthening the awareness and education and participation of youth from when they are in like high school and the universities, it will lead to like changing their behavior so that they can understand that this is something that's already happening and it's going to harm us and we only have one world. We don't have two worlds. So if we harm this world, there is no other world to go to. We're just going to be doomed. So in conclusion, closing the gap between climate ambition and tangible impact requires a shift from framework driven approaches to implementation-focused, locally responsive systems. Advancing climate resilience will depend on the ability to operationalize policy commitments through integrated, enforceable, and adaptive governance mechanisms that directly address the realities faced by vulnerable communities. So basically, that is what the policy and governance committee had, and yeah, we are welcome to any comments in regards to the wording. Also, the document will be shared for everyone to go through it. It is GSI property now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing that presentation. Actually, it is an amazing presentation, sharing real insights on how young people are not so engaged and also some of the practical ways. And it's amazing. You guys did a good job. I can say thank you for all the committees and all the chairs and everyone who participated in the committee session. It really shows the power of co-creating, and it's refining our message we did during African Green Education Summit, how young people can co-create to create solutions. I know this is a journey, and you have been able to network, being able to see, and also being able to see various potential each of you has in terms of influencing policy, in terms of local action. And now the journey has just started. And this is a journey which you're going to work together. We're not going to leave you after we have graduated. We are done, but we are starting a journey where we're now reinforcing growth and be able to root the vision you have and being able to support you in a way which we are able to support you so that you can be able to unlock the hidden potential you have. And I would like to invite one of the persons who has been instrumental in this program, Mr. Kaikai Jimmy. If you can hear me, I can give you a chance to share. You're one of the persons who we co-created this program together, and I would love to hear his insights about this program as we conclude. Mr. Jimmy, if you can hear me. Kai Jimmy.
Yes. How are you, everybody? Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, thank you so much. Kindly confirm from. Hello, somebody, confirm.
Hello, we can hear you clearly, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Yes, so distinguished senators, I just want to take this special moment to join with you in this meeting. And once again, I'm sorry because I've been held up somewhere. I have joined late. Nevertheless, I know you've shared a lot, and I just want to take this moment to actually celebrate each and every one of you. And before I continue, my name is Jimmy Kakai. I am the program coordinator in this great movement of Green Students Initiative, working closely with Madam Bridget Kangai. I know she's not here. She would have loved to be here. Nevertheless, I just want to appreciate you, the senators, because from the time we began up to now, this training, this journey would not have been in any way successful without your presence here, and therefore feel so much grateful wherever you are, and I just want to appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. From week one, it looked like it was going to be a very, very long journey, but finally we were able to walk with you this journey up to the end. And so I just want to encourage us that we now become more practical, because the things we have been learning, they are more of theory. And so we are now walking into another phase whereby the things we have learned now, it's now time for us to implement them. We are not now supposed to become more practical, all the way from the policy, the things we have been learning about policy, power mapping, lobbying. I want us to leverage on those, to leverage on the partnerships, stepping into the spaces, walking into the corridors of power, and, being able to influence decision making, because I know right now we are more informed than when we walked into this training program. let's maximize on partnerships and communicate our impacts. You know, I know each one of you is doing, there is something small you are doing in your community. So I want to encourage us that let's build a routine whereby anything small you are doing in your community, purpose to document it, because we all understand the importance of data. Once you have that data, it's the one that is going to guide the decisions you are going to make. And even in terms of when you are now approaching the donors for your projects, because I know we are all looking forward to maybe starting projects and even growing, even the small ideas we are having, we are now going to, we look forward to having, bigger projects and even organizations. So it's very, very important that whatever things you are doing in your community, you be able to document them. So our next steps, I know the GSI leadership is working on the certificates, and I know in due time you will be issued with your certificates. So lastly, as I conclude, it has been nice. It has been nice actually connecting with you people, and I know we have been able to grow our networks. We worked here. We didn't know each other, but along the way, you were able to, to interact with one person or another, and you were able to learn something, to relearn something, and even unlearn something. And so let's build on those partnerships. Let's build on those networks we have been able to grow, during this whole journey. So I am looking forward for more moments of collaborations, whereby now we will now be talking the same. We will now be talking the same language. Let's look forward to becoming people that are going to bring the change that we all dream to have. So as I conclude, I just want to put across this my favorite phrase that says the people closest to the problem are the ones with the solutions. Yes, in our communities, we interact with the people. We know what is eating our communities, our people, in different spaces, in our institutions. And therefore, let's purpose, to become more innovative, to become more people with brilliant ideas that actually can be transformed into actionable ideas. And so I don't want to take much of your time, because I know our time has really gone so fast. And I am looking forward to moments like this, sharing. So thank you so much, Senators, and congratulations, each one of you, for this great milestone you have been able to come. Thank you so much. Back to you, Kelvin. Back to you, Kelvin.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jimmy, for sharing that insights. And now someone is asking himself, now after I've graduated, what next? So GSI is a movement of young people who nurtures growth. So after now you have been able to graduate, now you'll become our GSI climate senator who has knowledge and has understanding of various laws and how the system operates. Hello. So who has knowledge and understanding of how the system operates. Now you'll become a full climate senator, and you'll be issued with a badge, and you'll give the next step forward of how you're going to become a GSI climate senator. And you are being given a mandate. We are going to launch a certain program for the senators. After this, now you guys will be able now to do action at home, as I mentioned earlier. Now you'll be able to work on those spaces so that you can be able to reinforce the program, the problem statement you identified in week 1. You backed with data. Also, you did legislative drafting during week 1. Week 3, now you did legislative drafting a first bill. In week 4, you did resource mobilization. And week 5, you did mobilization and more of now mobilization and power and policy mapping. So now in week 6, you did committee so that you can be able to co-create. And I know you identified common problems, and now it is now the chance for you to be able to transit now from understanding the problem to taking action. And GSI is going to give you a platform to be able to see that, and we will be able to give you opportunity to be able to apply for funding opportunities, to be able to apply for more conversations, to be able to join and be able to grow, because we understand that growth is a process, and it occurs gradually as you grow. So we're going to give you that opportunity, and in so doing that, also we'll make sure that we are going to track your progress as we also award the best senators. Actually, we're going to release we are supposed to release them today for the best senators for the climate senate, but we're going to release them in our social media, so that you guys make sure you follow social medias, check them, and we're going to release the best senators tomorrow early in the morning by 12 p.m. 12 a.m. 12 noon. So you'll be able to release the list of the best senators. So feel free to check and be able to like and post, and also share the news with your fellow colleagues about the climate senate, how it has been able to change. Just record a small video, do a small post on LinkedIn, tag GSI, will be able to repost and share the knowledge. Yes, a very good program very soon, and it will be an amazing program, and it will be more focusing on action at home, on what are you doing, how are you telling your story, and we'll be glad to have you back as our climate senators. And so I think I've been able to answer the question. So I would like to thank our very good partners, the Climate Cardinals team, who has been able to support us in this conversation, and have been very instrumental being able to host us in today's conversation. So I would like to give a chance to Madam Zainab, so that she can be able to share maybe insights and being able to share reflections from this conversation, and be able to share maybe some of the opportunities they have for us in us today. Over to you, Madam.
Hi, thank you. I wasn't prepared to talk, like formally talk, but yeah, it was nice being here with you guys and helping in regards to the technical matters. And I've loved what all of you what you've said, and the whole speakers, Letitia, and all of you guys. What you said is legit and important, and we're happy to help you host this session, and honored to be here. And yes, I've seen a lot of inspiring leaders through this call, and we in Climate Cardinals have our chapters program, which is a program that is dedicated for mainly people who are affiliated with schools, university, and even organizations or community groups or youth groups, where they can start chapters that is related to climate cardinals, and they can do projects about related to climate actions, climate education, mainly since this is the core mission of Climate Cardinals, making climate education more accessible in many different languages. So if you would like to participate in the program, in the chapters program, I will leave our official email in the chat box, and I will attach the form to sign up for a chapter with us, the link for the form right now. And yes, once again, thank you guys, and proud to co-host and help through this session. Thank you. Back to you, Kelvin. Ivan, sorry.
Yeah, thank you very much for the amazing work. You guys go and check Climate Cardinals in their Instagram. They're doing very well. You can be able to get some few opportunities to be able to participate. Yeah. So I would like you guys to be able to send me some reactions. I need to send I see just some reactions for the Climate Cardinals team. I need to see some reaction. Let's send some reactions and some love, some love. Let's send some reactions. I need to see everyone sending reactions. Let's send reactions. Amazing, amazing. Now let's send reactions for all the senators who have been able to graduate today. Now you're not just as you're a climate senator. So anyway, I go say I'm a climate senator championing about climate justice. So we need to see reactions, 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 reactions. Now we need to see reactions for our speakers who have been able to present today's session, who have been able to give us insight. I need to see reactions. I need to see reactions for all our testimonies, of all our senators who have been able to give testimonies. Yeah, I need to see reactions. I need to see reactions for all the moderators for today's sessions. Amazing, amazing. And then I'd like to acknowledge the reactions for all the people who came up with this program, draft the curriculum, worked on it, spent sleepless nights making sure you guys have this experience and making sure this conference or this art summit has been successful. So I would like to share now my remarks. My name is Evans Kiriga. I'm the executive director of the Green Student Initiative, as you know. So I'm glad to have you guys here, and also I'm surely giving you a mandate to go and exercise your role, being able to exercise what you've been able to learn. And we are glad to have hosted you in the 8 weeks. It was amazing interacting with you. I know it is a journey we're starting together, because I know those working circles are not just going to be there, because we're going to form something consolidated so that we can be able to continue the conversation, because that's where we start. So congratulations. I need to see you guys typing in the chat box. Congratulations to all the graduates. Congratulations. I need to see that. And I need to see that. So another thing I'd like to share with you guys, I'd like to give a chance to one senator who would like to share deep insights, who will be able to share something from you guys, what you've been able to learn. Yeah. Any senator who is willing to share right now, I'll give a chance. Yes, Nicholas Onyango. Nicholas, can you hear me? Nicholas Onyango. I don't know what's not happening. We just seen you raise your hand now. Nicholas, if you can hear me. Yeah. Anyone else who wants to share?
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah, you can continue, Nicholas.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Nicholas Anyango, and I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity to have interacted with you guys in the Climate Senate. One thing I've learned that leadership is not about the position we carry, but about the impact we make. So today, I stand not just as a participant of the Senate program, but as someone who has truly been transformed by this journey. So when I joined this program, I came in with curiosity, ambition, and desire to grow. But what I found was far more than I expected. A space that challenged me to think critically, lead boldly, and serve with purpose. Through this experience, I have gained more than just knowledge. I have developed leadership skills, learned the value of teamwork, and understood the importance of standing for something bigger than myself. The discussions, the collaboration, and even the challenges have all shaped me into a more confident and responsible leader. One of the most powerful lessons I take with me is that leadership is not about position, but about the impact we make. It's about using our voices, our ideas, and our actions to create positive change in our communities. To the organizers and mentors, thank you for believing in us and investing in our growth. Your guidance has truly made a difference. To my fellow senators, it has been an honor learning and growing alongside you. The future is bright because of the leaders in this room. As we graduate today, this is not the end, but it's the beginning of a greater responsibility. Let us go out and lead with integrity, courage, and purpose. Thank you all, and may God bless you.
Thank you very much for the deep reflection, Mr. Nicholas. I need to see flowers for Mr. Nicholas. Actually, I've spoken for a lot of senators here. Thank you very much, guys, and it was amazing having you. I actually will miss you, but we'll miss your actions more, your voices, your good things you've been able to do with us. And from me and my team, I'll say goodbye and let's meet again in this space, and also let's continue interacting and make sure you follow our social media. Thank you very much for all moderators and everyone who was able to join. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and goodbye, guys. And thank you. Bye.
Evans.
Yes.
One last thing, someone is asking here in the chat, when are we getting our certificates?
So the certificates we will send the certificate